2, 3, recording.
I think it's only like 5, and I intentionally this where I can email this to y'all, and y'all can use this as send it to people on the propaganda. You ain't even gonna need because it's gonna be on as a great PowerPoint, so that's gonna be crystal clear. But it's nothing on here about like my name or pictures or family business. This is strictly something anybody could use. So I'm intentionally doing this like this, and the paperwork you got is the actual IRS forms and all that. So this way, with the paperwork and with this PowerPoint, you be like, I can manually give it to them. I can just email them to them on my phone as a PDF, and they're good to go. So that's why I got this structured like this. This is the 2018 nonprofit property guarantee, how to donate real estate and get your tax deduction. It's just a few basic steps. However, they're real helpful if you do it according to the way the IRS wants you to do it. First question, what is a nonprofit property guarantee? Answer, a guarantee that the nonprofit will not move into, sell, or trade the property until after you, meaning the donor, receives the fair market value, or FMV, or IRS tax deduction. The fair market value, FMV, or IRS tax deduction is basically the same thing. That's what a real estate agent would call the appraisal value. If an appraiser looked at the house and they said this house is worth $170,000, and they put on IRS form 8283 that my name is so-and-so, and I'm an appraiser in the state of Pennsylvania, and I appraise this real estate, and this property, in my personal professional opinion, is worth between $170,000 and $180,000. You as a nonprofit, if you give a written acknowledgement, which is the same as a receipt, saying that you're giving them $175,000, you put the IRS in a comfortable position where they like, okay, you did it right. You ain't go under, you ain't go over, you went right in the middle. You're saying, here's a written acknowledgement from the Red Cross, United Way, Feed the Children, or your nonprofit, and the person who made the donation, they're getting what the IRS calls the fair market value. So they're getting what the IRS considers to be a fair tax deduction. So that thing is, okay, I gave $175,000 piece of real estate, or $170,000, or $180,000, whatever the appraisal says is worth. You're saying, look, we're keeping it simple. We only want what we gave, no more, no less. All right? So a guarantee that the nonprofit will not move into, sell, or trade the property until after you, the donor, receives the fair market value, FMV, or IRS tax deduction for your contribution to a qualified nonprofit. One brief thing with this, the IRS form, the 8283 form, actually has on that form a section where you can put in there any contingencies. Like if you're saying, I'm giving a property guarantee, whatever. If it's any stipulations with the property, so right there on the form, you got it all in writing in black and white. Everything is signed, everything is properly filed. It's the way that we basically want to do that. Next question. How does a donor get their money? Simply file your IRS form 1040 yourself. You can use H&R Block, or you can do it online. People do it different ways, you know what I mean? But basically, the way that they get their money is as a tax deduction. Say, if I'm just using this hypothetical, say they already filed their taxes. They still could get that money within 2 to like 12 weeks if they use IRS form 1040X, if it was necessary. What forms do I need to claim my deduction? IRS forms and publications and their instructions can be downloaded for free from www.irs.gov. That's G-O-V, God. Recommended forms is the 1040 form, the 1040X form, the 8283 form, and the 1040 Schedule A, meaning your itemized deduction form. Those forms are free. You can get them in 5 minutes. You can print them right out, and you just have them forms right there on hand. But that's what you need for donations of real estate.
Okay.
If I have questions about donating, how can I learn more? You can go on the IRS website at irs.gov. You can order free forms or publications by calling them up on the phone, toll free at 1-800-829-3676. You You can find answers to text questions for free. Say you got a question. Say the donor could be like, well, I want to know if I really could do it. Listen, you don't have to ask me. Call the IRS. Well, what if I owe $200? Ask the IRS. They'll personally tell you. Our agent will actually tell you on the phone for free any questions you have about your donation. So they can call to find answers to tax questions for free. They call 1-800-829-1040. For individual or business issues, you can still call them. Like, say, for example, I got a situation where my mom left a property to me and my brother. You know what I mean? They'd be like, they'll give you an answer to fit your particular circumstance. You just call 1-800-829-4933. So the information and the resources is there for free. You just need to avail yourself to it by simply asking them your particular situation. When it comes to the real estate, the property thing, it's really not a complicated thing if the person or the people know what they're doing. And as long as you do it in accordance to the IRS rules and regulations, it's not going to be no problems. But if you put something, any element in there, you know how they say one of these things is different, don't belong here. You changing the game to them. They like, oh, everything was cool, but you told us this person donated a car that they own, and we come to find out his wife really owned the car. Yeah, she owned the car, but she gave me the car. I had the car for 8 years. You didn't tell me. You told me you owned the car, but the car is in your wife's name. You got to transfer the title first before you do that donation. So the circumstances could change. So to simplify it and make sure we're dealing with actual facts, my thing is simply, instead of telling me about a potential donor, I'm saying as your advisor, simply get with me. We can arrange a meeting or a phone conference or emails, whatever, where I could basically talk to them for you and let me give them the professional expert information and documentation so that if it's a house, if it's a car donation, if it's a cash donation or whatever, we can process that in like 1 to 2 hours ourselves. It's in one day, the whole thing is over with. We shouldn't take us 3 days, a month, a week, different meetings. We should be able to process a piece of real estate or a vehicle the same day. That's really should be something real simple. All right? So we're going to close with that. Thank you for your time, family.
Yes, yes.
It's called Keep It Simple.